So today is another one of my longer, straighter shots that you can create. And what we're going to look at is eliminating the slice. The slice for me is the one shot in golf people hate the most, and it's a big power loser when you're playing golf. So the biggest thing we need to, one, understand what causes a slice, and two, look at other areas that then we can improve to get rid of that slice and make it better. Now what's really important to understand is when you're playing golf, golf is a game where you're looking to generate good power to encourage the ball forward. And what I think the golf swing is what I call a rotary movement. Okay, we're going to come back to this hula hoop in a minute. So what do I mean by a rotary movement? Well, a rotary movement is a golf swing basically is turning around your body. Okay, and the best way to look at it, in golf we talk a lot about a squareness in the shot, square stance, square club face. And I think what it creates a lot of the time is then we think of the golf swing as a square rather than a circle. And what you've got to understand is if you want to generate power, you have to think of your golf swing more like a circle. So let's think about it. Let's use an example. So for example, if I said to you now, you're going to go back to your car in the car park, and suddenly you get there and the tyres on your car are square. Okay, that's going to take a lot of energy from your car to make the tyres turn over. But you don't, you have round tyres. You have round tyres because they're circular, they move a lot easier, you can move faster, you can move more efficiently. Your golf swing needs to be like that. So what I see a lot of the time is people relative to their target, what they're trying to do is keep the club very sort of square to where they're trying to hit the ball. Now, really, the only thing that needs to remain square in the golf swing is the club face. That's the key thing we're looking for. And what we always want to feel is that initially, have we got ourselves in a position where we've got a good grip, that the club face is in that square position relative to our hands. If it is, that gives us a great chance to then think that our golf swing is like a big circle. It's a rotary movement working around your body. You can see if I set up to this plank of wood, as I start to swing back, naturally everything starts to swing my side of the piece of wood, coming back this way to then come into the golf ball this way. And now as the club comes back, we should rotate through. And you can see my club never got this side of the red line. If I get that side of the red line, we're called outside the line. If I'm outside the line, I have to come across the ball. Now that's the biggest reason that we start to slice the ball. Because if we start to come across the golf ball, what happens then is the swing feels like it's going left. What causes a slice is relative to our target, the club face itself, let's use this little gadget, relative to it being square to where we want to go, that club face now is in an open position. An open position, the ball now is going to go much more to the right of your target. Okay, so that's important to understand. The slice is caused by the club face being open. Now what we're going to show you is the things that you might be doing in your setup or in your swing that could cause the swing to go the opposite direction that makes you open that club. So that's quite important to understand. I think golf is a game of reactions. What we need to do is get the actions and the reactions working together. If you're making a poor swing, you have to then react with the club face. And the problem with golf is two wrongs can make a right. You can get into a situation where you're swinging too much one way, you position the club the opposite way, they can counteract each other and you can end up straight. You'll get some sort of curvature on the ball to come back to that position. And that's absolutely fine. So that's how you want to play golf, that's fine. Generally though, you'll lose power doing it. So what we're looking to create today is an understanding that to eliminate that slice and generate full power, the golf swing needs to be a swing that is this rotary movement, this rotation around your body. It's a bit like a baseball swing. Okay, you watch a baseball player, he's there and he's moving the bat that way. And what's quite interesting, let's look at one of my first things you can do to help leaving the club face open. If you took the club and turned it round that way, and you think of that like the end of a baseball bat, because there is no face, it's 360 degrees round. You don't, when you swing a baseball bat, think about coming in square and being perfect with it. You might if you're going to bunt the ball out, but when you're looking to hit it an energy, you just rotate. Now it's amazing, if you get somebody holding the club like that and swing it like a baseball bat, those slicers don't do the slicing action. The slicers now start to rotate the club. Amazingly, if they did that now, they'd probably start swinging it and actually drawing the ball. So the swing is this rotary movement from here to here, always working naturally around your body. All we do different to the baseball swing is we now tilt over through our hips. If I now do the same movement, I'm coming into the ball from this angle, creates the angle we want, and now I can get that rotation through the ball. Remember, what we're looking to achieve is a rotation to give you energy. Think of the tyres on your car. Now, what we're going to do is highlight with this hula hoop certain things that we might do wrong, which would encourage that swing to go off the correct route, to get into this position that we may come from outside the line over here, back on the line into the ball that way. Then there's a reason to open the club face. That's a reason now we could slice the golf ball. So what we're looking for is an understanding that when you address the ball, there are key elements that need to be right. Relative to our target line, I'd like my feet to be nice and parallel to where I want to go. These are all orthodox positions I'm giving you. I'm not giving you any extra tricks here. This is just an orthodox position that we'd like to see every golfer in. Now, the important thing to understand is your feet run parallel to where you want to go. That means as a right-handed golfer, your feet are actually aiming slightly left of the target if you're looking to hit a straight shot. Think of parallel lines. Parallel lines run beside each other, okay? Like a railway track. If the lines come together, like you're pointing your body towards the target, the train's going to come off the tracks. So the important thing is to realize from that position, I need to be parallel. So that's our first thing we're going to look at. If I'm in position here, let's put this hula hoop around my body. You can see now the angle of the swing. Now, if I suddenly open my stance, you can see straight away, that's the way the swing wants to go. So there's one fault. Already, I've got myself in a position now where I've got an open stance. That makes the swing go left. If I swing correctly to that line, I've got to open the club up to bring it back. Now, if you deliberately want to fade the ball, that's great. But if you're looking to stop the slice, have a look at that. Are you aiming too far left? Second thing is ball position. We just turn this way. If I get into that position, I've got the ball there. If I start to move the ball too far forward, again, naturally, that starts to feel like the body's slightly opening because the club is over here. So we turn that there from my ball position and I bring myself this way. It now feels like my body, my shoulders are going to be open. Okay? So again, if your ball position is too far forward, that can encourage you to have the swing going too far left. Again, because if we are a slicer, we tend to do those two things. We aim further left, we put the ball further forward, we think that's going to help. But actually, it's making the swing go further left. So you're making it worse and you're going to have to open that club even more. So when you look at it, let's exaggerate it and go a little bit the other way. If I now close my stance, you can see what's happening. Now, this actually can be a fault for the slicer. They may go and look at things and what they see is if I close my stance, that's going to help my swing go right. But what I see with golfers now is they know the red line is their line they want to swing on. So what they do is they get into that position there and then their brain is saying, well, everything feels like I'm going too much that way. So they swing back and then they try and get back onto that line. So what am I doing in my swing? I'm coming what we call over the top. And the likelihood is you're probably going to overdo it. So guess what happens? You feel like you're aiming right. You come in over the top, your subconscious senses that movement, you're going to open the club face. Again, you slice the ball. So let's get back to an orthodox position. The feet should be parallel to where we want to go. The ball position, if we're hitting an iron, should be pretty central in our stance. Okay, that's what we're looking for. From that position, if my body is in a nice line, you can see the hula hoop is just sitting at an angle that you'd expect the golf club to be in. Now, the goal in the swing is to make a nice smooth rotary movement. There and come back. Now, hopefully what you're seeing now is my hula hoop isn't really changing its angle. I don't want to get here. I don't want to whip inside and come back this way. That will make the swing look like it's going to go right. Alternatively, I don't want to go up steep and come down steep. You can now see how the swing's going to go left. Just from this very visual picture, you can see the hula hoop there to there. My arms are going up, my arms are coming down. Okay, so one of the biggest faults I see for slicers is they understand the swing doesn't want to come from this angle into the ball. They want to come more into this angle. So they start to think, well, I'll try and exaggerate a little bit that way. And that seems a good idea. So this is one, what I call, Ledbetter calls this the dead zone, David Ledbetter. And he says that if you swing the club back and you get very quickly on the inside, so you can see how the hula hoop now looks shallow, back to what I said earlier, your subconscious looks to get over the top to get back online. So now you're creating this weaker chopping action into the ball. if you watch the majority of the top players, what do they actually do in their swing? Okay, there's a golf swing out there everybody sort of looks at and thinks is a little bit ridiculous. There's a guy called Jim Furyk. Now, I'm going to use a club to explain his swing, a little bit harder to do with the hula hoop. What he does brilliantly, he understands what he should be doing on the downswing, back to the ball. He knows he's got to be back on that inside line. What he does in his backswing is he'll go outside the line here to make a loop to come inside. So he's making this sort of motion. And if you watch the majority of top players, they're all doing this motion, but in a much less exaggerated way. So whether you go back to the likes of Nick Faldo, Woods, these players, they all have that very slight change of direction, that when they get to the top here, if they're going to do anything, they're going to come down this way. And look where I'm coming down into the ball. Now I'm on that inside line. Now there's no reason to leave the club face open. So now I can make my rotary movement through the ball. So everything we're trying to get you to understand is we want this rotary movement through the shot. If you get that, you're going to increase your power. The more you look to get that swing from the top of the backswing back to the ball, let's go back to the hula hoop to show that and exaggerate that feeling. I get to here, I get to the top, and now I go this way. Look where the hula hoop's now going. The hula hoop is now going left. If I'm swinging left, I have to make an adjustment to stop it going left. That means I have to open the club up. There becomes the weaker club face. I'm adding loft, and now I'm encouraging the slice. So everything we're looking at, we want this rotary movement. We want the club to come back on that inside line. If it's coming from outside relative to where you want to hit the ball, you're now looking to hit it left of target. You've got to open the club face to stop it going left. Everything we're showing you here, hopefully with this visual aid, you can see if I maintain the swing here, if I do that now with the club, you see now how I'm coming back much more on that inside line. From there, from that position, if I let the club rotate, I'm maximizing my power. It's as if I'm using the golf club like the round tires on my car. It's giving me energy. As soon as I start to come over the top, I've got to adjust, I'm losing energy. It's now like you've got square tires on your car. I hope those things help. I hope that visual aid makes it a little bit clearer what you've got to do. But make sure, if you can, everything is as orthodox as possible. Get the stance correct, get the ball position correct, and then realize in the swing, we want to get that club coming back on that rotary movement to generate power, and that will help you get rid of that slice. I hope you enjoyed that clip. I look forward to seeing you soon. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.